going to come. You've got all the connections that you need. But when God puts a dream in your heart, it's always too big for you. And usually there's going to be some waiting. Because there's going to be some testing. There's going to be some trial. You're going to be forged in fire. There's going to be some uncomfortable situations that you're going to encounter. But God says, listen, this is in the making. You're in the making. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. It is as it should be. I need you just to keep moving. Trust me. Have faith in me. Know that I've got a plan and it's good and I'm working it out. And you're going to understand it. You're going to see how it's all fitting together. You're going to look back and say, oh, that's what you would do. That was clever. Never would have thought to do that, God. And God's like, yeah, I know. When you were down there having a temper tantrum, throwing the pity party, I already knew you would get to this place where you would realize and you would rejoice. All the tears, but you would come back again rejoicing, bringing fruit with you. But if I wouldn't have taken you through that, then you wouldn't have been able to bear fruit. And so it was all on purpose. So Solomon realizes, I can't do this. He asked God for ability. He asked God for wisdom. And God says, you've asked well. And because you asked me for wisdom, I'm going to get you what you didn't ask for. I'm going to give you wealth. I'm going to give you influence. I'm going to give you all of these things that most people probably would have asked me for, but you didn't. And you know, when I look at it, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, Solomon really didn't need wealth. He already had wealth. He was going to have women. He was going to have all of these things. And so when he's looking at it, he really already has wisdom too. Because it takes a wise one to ask what it is that he asked. And so it wasn't that God was giving him anything that he didn't already have. God was making him aware of the fact that he was going to be able to operate it. You asked me for wisdom. You have wisdom. And the scripture says that there was none wiser than Solomon in his time nor after him. And Solomon did some pretty foolish things. He went out and he disobeyed God. You know, he writes the book of Ecclesiastes, it's the whole book of woes. Vanity, vanity, all's vanity, it's all worth it. You know, he writes all these things because he has this emptiness and he realizes, I've gotten all these things, but I'm empty. And at the end of that book, he says, you know, what is it all about? This is what it's about. It's about knowing your Creator. It's about entering into a relationship with Him. Enjoying your days while you're young. Enjoying the time that God has given you, but remembering your Creator. Even in the days of your youth, remember Him. Remember your Father. Enter into a relationship with Him. Remember His words to you. And follow after Him. Solomon asked for wisdom, not realizing that he already had it. And a lot of us are asking for things we already have. God just needs to point it out. It's there. It's at your disposal. I've given you everything that you need to be able to do what it is. But you've got to realize that it's coming from me. So Solomon had to realize this wisdom is coming from God. God has given me this. This isn't something that I've attained by going and looking at the ant. When I'm looking at the ant, God is giving me wisdom about the ant. When I'm looking at the way of the serpent upon the rock, this is all of his proverbs that he writes. He's looking at the serpent on the rock. When he's looking at the serpents upon the rock, it's God that's giving him that wisdom. How many of y'all have looked at the clouds or looked at the stars and you're just looking and you're like, wow, the majesty of God. He created all this. This is awesome. God is the one. Do you know that everybody doesn't look in awe at those things? Some people drive by and look up or look around and they don't even notice the beauty. They're captive to the hardship and the problems of darkness around them. And they don't even notice the beauty. It is a gift from God for you to be able to even notice the beauty that's around you. You hear what I said? And to be able to receive His wisdom is a gift from God. The wisdom that's already on the inside of you, to be able to tap into that and use that to make life better, not just for you, but for those that are around you. It's a gift from God. Everything that we have comes from Him. And Solomon realized that. But then God had to take him through some things to realize it. But going back to the beginning of the story as I wrap it up and come to a close. David is writing this song to his son. David has gone out and he has brought all of what it is that's going to be needed for his son to build a house. The house that he wanted to build for himself. And most of us will say, you know, that's just what parents do. They're going to try to make it good for their kids. They're going to want their kids to do better than them, but not all parents. I've also seen where parents get jealous of their kids. They don't want to be jealous, but they are. And fathers don't want their sons to go to the next level or be better than them, to surpass them. And as long as their sons are kind of on a certain level, they're okay. But when they see that their sons might surpass them, it becomes a problem. And they'll start doing those subtle things to sabotage your son's success. I've seen it. I sitting there like, wow, I can't believe that happens. But it does. And so David is going, and he's preparing all these things for his son to be able to build the house that he wanted to build. God said, you're not going to be able to do it, but your son is going to do it. How many of us, because all of us are called to be mothers and fathers in the kingdom, do you hear what I said? How many of us are willing to give someone else the material to build what we wanted to build ourselves? How many of us will not be insecure when we see somebody that does something better than what it is that we've done? When we've been doing it for 35 years and they walk in 1 year and seem to have the success that we've been working toward for 35 years. How many of us can celebrate them and be happy about that and then bring them what it is that they need to be successful in what it is that we see that they're doing? David did that. I wanted to build a house. I asked the prophet about the house, but I'm going to make sure that my son has everything that he needs to be able to build a house. So he goes and hires these artisans of wood, and he goes and he gets all of the gold, and he gets everything that's going to be needed to make this a house of God that's going to be majestic and is going to surpass the palace and the house that he himself lived in. He's going to get the cedar, the best woods. He's going to get all of these things. He doesn't go and say, well, if my son's going to build it, you know, I don't need gold. I can get that gold plate. So y'all go ahead and bring me some gold plate. We're going to gold plate this thing.
Yeah.
We don't need 24 karat. Go ahead and bring me some 10K. He won't know the difference. It's good enough. We don't want him to look too good because I am David and I'm the one who began it all. It doesn't happen here in Texas, but you know, in other states where we don't want to see people do better than us. It's okay as long as we're all on the same level. But when someone starts to ascend and rise higher, I got to bring them down a couple of notches. That's not your responsibility to knock anybody down. I got to make sure they don't get lifted up in pride. So I got to remind them of where they came from. Just like they did in Jesus' time. When Jesus was rising and he was going around doing good and everybody was following him, there were throngs crowding him around. And then he goes back home to his own people and they tried to do, break him down in a subtle way where they start saying things like, isn't that Joseph, the carpenter's son? Aren't his brothers and sisters with us here? You know, what they were saying basically is, he's not about anything. We know him. We know his family. As a matter of fact, when they were referencing Joseph, they already knew the story of that too. So they're bringing that up in a very subtle way. He was born in sin. His mom and daddy weren't even married. You know, all the other people that are following him, they don't know that, but we know the real Jesus. They're running around calling him the son of David. He's the son of Joseph. You know, that's what that was about. And so, you know, he goes back home and they just feel this desire to just kind of knock him down a couple of notches instead of celebrating him and building him up. Rhetorical question, you don't have to raise your hand. How many of you have experienced that? And especially among your own people. Sometimes the enemies are in one's own house. In your own community. The people that should be celebrating you. The people that should have the signs when you're coming home. You know, holding the signs up and they're excited because they're a part of that. They had something to do with that. But they're the ones that are trying to knock you down. They're the ones saying, don't go there. That's going to be too big for you. That's going to be a headache. Yeah. And killing the dream that God has placed on. Are you sure you can do that? I don't know. Pookie was trying to do it and he couldn't make it happen. He had to come back home. Let's go. Dream killers. But you've got to know what it is that God said. And keep going. And those of us that are called to mentor, to mother and father others, to disciple others, we've got to be willing to help other people get to where they're going. I want to help someone else get to where it is that I see that they're going. I want to see them become all that they can become. And when I see them rising, I want to celebrate them. I want to be happy. But when you feel something else rising up on the inside of you, you can still do well. Listen, it's not a sin to be tempted, but it's a sin to yield. Sometimes we're human. We can look and we've been working for something, and we've been working for a long time, and it's not happening. When we see somebody else, it just looks like they just step right into it. You've been asking for deliverance from this thing for years and been fighting it. But then they come at the altar, fall down, and get up, and they delivered. And you've been working at deliverance for all of that time. It can be frustrating. You can feel these feelings coming up, but you have to take those thoughts captive and those feelings captive and say, Lord, I'm feeling this way, and be honest. Yeah. I'm jealous of my sister. I'm jealous of my brother. Why does everybody else seem to be moving? David did it. He said, why are all the wicked people the ones that seem like they're moving and something's happening in their life, and I'm trying to do right and nothing seems to be happening? Every time I take 3 steps, a boulder comes and I'm back 7 steps. And I lost the 3 that I took. He said, why do the heathen rage? Why do they imagine vain things? It's okay to be honest and to say, I'm having problems with this, Lord. I'm jealous, but I don't want to be jealous. I'm looking at her and I really don't like her right now. I don't even know why I don't like her, but this is ugly. And I don't want to feel this way. Deliver me from the spirit of ugly. I want to love. I want to be happy for him. I want to celebrate. And I don't want it to be a fake smile. How many of y'all can feel a fake smile coming from a mile away? And you know they're not happy. You can see a green tint on their skin. You say, Lord, I'm feeling this way and I don't want to feel this way. I want to be happy. I want to be able to celebrate them. I don't want to be angry about this. I'm feeling insecure around these people. I don't want to feel insecure. I'm feeling like I can't do this because, this person, even when I started walking in the prophetic, I was looking at other prophets and they're always, got a specific word. They're telling people how much money's in their checkbook. God never told me how much money was in somebody's checkbook. Yes, I wasn't hearing people's driver's license numbers or anything, but the way that the Lord was using me was different than the way that he was using other people. And so I couldn't look at other people and compare myself to them. I understand that he's given me a way to function in this, and it was needed. The way that he called me to function in it was needed. And people may not even realize or recognize what it was. It doesn't matter whether they recognize it or not, and whether I even recognize sometimes that it was prophetic. But he knows, and all I have to do is open my mouth wide, and he feels it. And he causes a word to come out that will edify and to build up. And I see people sometimes that will look and they'll compare, and they'll say, well, I don't do it like them, so I must not be called to do this. Yes, you are. He doesn't want it done like everybody else has been doing it. Did you hear what I said? Yeah. What makes Maxine's pancakes is that it's not like everybody else's. It's huge. It takes up the plate. And they got a secret ingredient in there that keeps you coming back. And yes, Lord. Yes. And that crawfish pie that I had. I got to testify.
All right.
It's the distinctive taste that makes you want more. If I could just go to the store and just get one, and it's not going to be as special. Anybody can do that. But not anybody can make it taste like this. And so we've got to understand that there's something that we do. And God doesn't want you to do it like everybody else. He has you in the place that you're in for a reason. Amen. And the way that you do it is needed. So don't try to look like everybody else. If I have a group of people around me that are advisors, and everybody's saying the same thing, and everybody's trying to advise in the same way, what do I need all of them for? Amen. I only need one of them. I don't need 7 of the same thing around me. Do you hear what I said? Amen. And so we've got to understand that God has made us the way that he's made us on purpose. And what we learned from David and the story of Solomon is this. As I come to a close, I'm going to move to the stage, so I'll remember that I'm closing.
You preaching.
The scripture starts out by saying, as David is saying this to his son Solomon, as he set Solomon up to build his house, he says, unless the Lord builds a house, the laborers labor in vain to build it.